Welcome to the Millennial panel. We have with us today, I'm going to give just a quick introduction of everyone, including their ages, so you know where everyone is coming from here, and then we'll just jump right in. First, Stacey Ferreira. She founded a company called My Social Cloud at age 18 and sold it to Reputation.com. In 2014, she left Reputation.com and started her own advertising agency called AdMore. She is 23 years old, happy birthday, by the way, and is now building an on-demand workforce for retail called Forrge. Next, we have Kegan Schouwenburg. She was the director of engineering and operations at Shapeways, where she led one of the nation's biggest 3D printing operations. She went on to start a company called Souls, which creates custom-fit 3D printed orthotics. She has raised $20 million to fund this endeavor. She is 30 years old. And next, we have one of the few men here today. His name is Rodney Williams, and he founded Lisnr, which is a high-frequency, inaudible technology. It's a new communications protocol that sends data over audio. I'm not completely clear on how it works, but it turns any speaker or piece of media into a beacon. He is 31 years old. I'm Christine Lagorio-Chafkin. I'm a senior writer at Inc. I want to start out with Rodney, actually, because two reasons. Firstly, I don't totally understand your technology, as I just said. Maybe I'm not as much of a millennial as you are. Maybe you can explain that to us, what your product does. And also, I think that of the folks here on stage today, maybe you identify the most as a millennial. It's certainly a buzzword. I think it's become, in some cases, sort of this dirty word that no one wants to self-identify as a millennial. It's sort of like the word hipster. You know one when you see one, but you don't self-identify. So maybe you can talk about that. Like, why is it maybe not a dirty word to you? But first, like I said, give us a little bit more about your company.
I like to say we're just a really efficient way to connect devices. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all of those type are protocols used to create connections, whether you're streaming media or talking on the phone. The reality is that significantly drains your battery and also use your processor speed. We're just really, really efficient. We're 7 times more efficient than Bluetooth in most cases. We can power or activate any screen. So essentially, I always say we can live in every commercial. We can live in every piece of advertising, and we can talk to consumers using audio versus other means of protocol. So, not really explaining what we actually do today in market, and I always say, we drive a lot of consumer interactions. So imagine being at a game one day, and because you get up and use the bathroom, you automatically get what you just missed. The way we're understanding where you are in reference to the game is by our technology being broadcasted. So it's like one of our use cases.
Okay, got it. And your perspective on your age and working with folks around your age.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dirty word. I think it's an awesome word. I mean, I think that millennials are asking the right questions and are driving a significant change in every industry. When I started, I actually worked at P&G prior to Lisnr, and I was a pretty radical employee at the time, to be completely transparent. I did. I was like, why are we wearing slacks? We're supposed to be creative advertising, marketing. I'm an Old Spice guy, and I don't even come to work and look like an Old Spice guy. So stop it. And I used to get in trouble for that. And so what? And the same way now, I'm upset with a blazer on. But I think that changed. And I mentioned when we talked on the phone that politics, the way everything is launching is completely different than the way it was a few years ago. And I think it's driven by millennials.
Great. Kegan, what about you? How do you feel when you're called a millennial or when you're asked to talk about it? Is it something that you're interested in engaging in?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we're pretty much the same age, which I didn't know. I wouldn't say the word millennial is something that I identify with. I would say that I'm a big fan of building the world that you want to live in, and when I look at what we've built with Souls, it's all about enabling mass customization and enabling people to have products that fit and enabling a better version of the world, which is empowered by individuals. And I think a lot of that value set is very much in line with I think values that are being attributed to millennials, but it's much more about young people, and it's about going out there and getting up in the morning and saying, okay, I have access to technology, I have this entire world around me. I have this constant feed of news, of social media coming in, and I can use all of this to make decisions which resonate with me as an individual. And as founders and entrepreneurs, that's something that we do every day. We get up and we say, okay, what do I want to do and what do I want to build, not what does somebody else want me to build. And so call it a millennial, don't call it that, really call it whatever you want. I think at a greater, looking at it, I guess one step above, it's just saying, okay, what do I as an individual want to achieve and who do I want to build, or what do I want to build, and how can I do that?
Yeah, and Stacey, you on the younger end of the spectrum, do you think all millennials aged what 21 to 35 are the same, or is there a difference here emerging amongst the sort of age range?